Hello, good afternoon. Uh, we are again on the beach on the way between Seaton and Beer. This is early afternoon, and I had this impression that will be good to talk about the parts within us that take over in certain situations, especially in our relationships. It's quite frequently that the way we react is because one part of us wants to be heard, wants to be listened, and very frequently it's our inner child that feels like hurt, or that feels not listened, or that feels in pain, or that suffers. And we have to recognize, it's good to recognize when this happens, because it's quite frequently in our relationships, especially with our spouses, or with our husbands, partners, sometimes with parents, sometimes with our children even. So when someone says something that we don't like, it can be that we don't respond honestly, we don't respond in our truth, how we truly are. We just respond like a baby, like a child who is hurt, or who wants to be listened. So it's good to recognize, because this is not our truth, this is just the role that takes over in certain situations. Sometimes we can find ourselves feeling bad, feeling hurt, feeling lonely, like nobody is listening to us, nobody wants to play with us, and we feel very uncomfortable with this. And then sometimes we don't know why, but we just want to cry because of certain situation. It can be anything. It can be someone in the work can say something, and we overreact because this is not our truth. It can be that our inner child, hurt child, wants to say something, and then someone says something, and we suddenly start to cry, and we don't know why we reacted this way. It can be sometimes when we have an argue with someone, with our husband or partner, or even with one of our parents, mother, father, that we start to play a role like a child who doesn't know what to do, who is totally powerless, and feels very hurt. And this child wants to be listened to, so it starts to scream, it starts to cry, and this is not the truth. So it's good to recognize this and to stop the argue, because we are not talking as I'm just talking like arguing and screaming, raising the voice, and throwing things, and I'm just like a spoiled child. So And eventually we recognize, oh, this is not me. It's how I react. So it's like a child. So I can stop this. We can say, you know, it's better we stop. It's better not to talk about, even when your partner wants to continue, because his inner child is also involved. For example, two inner childs are crying and screaming. They want to be heard. So it's good to say, when we are aware of this, okay, I have to stop this. I need to go out to take breath and to contact with myself again, because this is not me. Oh, anything, you can apologize and say, okay, let's leave it for now. Independent with whom you have this argue. So it can be quite helpful to recognize. Sometimes we jump into the role of someone very responsible, and okay, I have to teach him or her. I have to show responsibility, and then sometimes we, with our partners, with our children, we are not like our truth, like our wisdom, because we are wise, we are clever, deep within our hearts. We are so, we have all this knowledge, we know. So when we find ourselves in the middle of the arguing with someone, screaming, and it's totally like not us, because this is not our true role. This inner child within us, it's good to heal it. So when you recognize it's like awakening, arising again, you can feel it. Oh, I want, perhaps we can buy this, we can buy that, we can go, like someone who very moody, or someone who wants things. It's good to again find a nice quiet place and to speak to this inner child. To speak to this inner child from your heart, from within. You can embrace it within your heart, and you can just speak to it, or have a talk with it, with this inner child, like from your truth, from your true heart, what you feel inside. It's very wise, it's very clever. It's just that you need to perhaps breathe again deeply, perhaps invite the light again into your heart, invite your inner child, invite your responsible parent, the role of responsibility. Everything has to be precise, everything has to be responsible. Okay, invite these parts of you within your heart and have a talk and hug them and send love to them. Perhaps they just need to be recognized, they just need to be hugged, they just need to embrace them with your loving heart. They will come again, perhaps one day, next days, but then you will be aware of it, and okay, what is it? Is it my inner child again? Oh, hello. What we can do for you today? Would you like to talk? And then you can recognize if you really need this nice, I don't know what it can be, new taste of ice cream, or huge chocolate bar, or if you really need to go somewhere on your holidays and to play and to show how beautiful you are. Recognize if this is yours. Normally it can be different roles. You can recognize it's not only inner child, not only parent. You can recognize like the princess within you, and she wants things, she wants someone to behave, to serve. It's lovely to recognize these roles, and to ask the question, if this really what I am, if this is really who I am, or this is a role that comes because of lack of something, embrace it, treat it with love and with the light. Have a nice day and a lot of joy with recognizing your different parts.